Don't look now, but it is time once again for the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast, coming to you from the Varsity Sports Bar and Grill. And there's a cold beer right there.
You struggled on that
I
one.
know. They get slower and slower with his age.
I try to create a little bit of drama.
Is that carpal tunnel or arthritis at your
Just
age?
a little bit of drama when I open the beer.
He struggled.
And it's open. And before I say hello to Rob Herking, I'm Dan Carroll, by the way, so hi, and thanks to everyone.
Nobody cares. Go ahead.
For watching the podcast today. I want to mention our sponsor, Kerry Wolfangle. When it comes to real estate across Cincinnati or around the world, the two names to know and trust are Comey and Shepard Realtors and Kerry Wolfangle. You want a realtor who knows the market, but Kerry, she goes beyond that. She builds her business on a relationship of honesty and trust. Kerry Wolfangle has been recognized with many of the highest awards in the business, and it is why she is the only real estate agent that we recommend here at One More and I'm Out of Here. If you or maybe someone you know is interested in buying, selling, moving in, or moving out, contact Kerry. The number is right there on your screen at 513-265-3125, and the email is right there too, kwolfangle@comey.com. Your road home starts at Wolfangle. Rob Herking, take it away.
Great job, Dan. I mean, you have improved strikingly. They need to work on your hand-eye coordination on opening beers going forward. Appreciate
I'm
you.
just trying to create a little drama.
Appreciate you being punctual as always, Dan. We were going to start at 3 o'clock today, and as you can see, we are not at 3 o'clock.
Well, I talked to Jason before the podcast started. We said between 3 and 3:30, I think, was the appointed time.
You didn't reach out to me, and speaking of Jason, I see him down there at the end of the table. Hey, Jason, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, fellas, everyone.
Oh, no, I called Jason because I was on my way to work and he was on his way home from work, and we drove right past him.
All right, with your technical skills, I will make sure I input my phone number in your contacts so you can call me as well.
I have your phone number.
I was very perturbed by your delay.
Would you like me to put it out
He
over
sometimes tries to forget it. But
Would you like me to put it out over the podcast?
It is 513-659-8892. You can find it on the internet, herkinglaw.com. Actually, I think it's on our damn One More and I'm Out of Here website. So there you go, Dan. Kind of took that poison away, didn't I, buddy? Huh?
So that's that whole eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah. Cut the head off that snake.
That's all right. I'm just saying, I have your phone number.
You know what's awesome is we've got somebody I've been looking forward to talking to in a while, and I apologize to everybody in advance for my voice. I started getting an upper sinus infection Tuesday, turned into an upper respiratory. Thought I was doing okay. It might have been the 15 Advil, Tylenol, and plethora of medications OTC I took on Friday. I went out, rain, cold. Didn't last all day. Woke up Friday after the conclusion, no voice. And yesterday finally succumbed and started making my rounds to try to find antibiotics and prednisone to cure it because I get it every year. And I told Keith this. I think I can get cocaine, crack, meth, weed, shrooms, acid, hash easier than I can get an antibiotic and fucking prednisone. It is ridiculous.
I did laugh when I got that text message.
It's stupid.
But I'm glad that you went over the counter and not to your recreational dealer.
I had to go dark web, man, to get this shit show from some online snake oil peddler. But thank you, Dr. in India that wrote that script in to allow me to start popping a shit ton of pills.
Did he help you with your extended car warranty too?
I think his name was Abraham Lincoln. You know, they take weird names over there, but it was great. So I got some pills now. We're kind of kicking a little bit. The voice is coming back. I'm still running a low grade, but I just started this morning, so we'll see what happens.
That's why there's a distance.
There is a little bit of a distance, and it's also, we were just talking, it's kind of like two-a-day football, you know, where you're getting ready for calisthenics. Make sure there's an arm's length between you and the
We
man.
do it with that piece of plexiglass. Throw that up.
John from Com Center says you
That
need
up
to
right
sit
here.
closer together and tighten the shot.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about some things Dan's suspect or possibly going to get on the way down to Clayton next month, but we'll get into that after we, Keith, I'm going to give you the honors because you're the only one he will talk to, as well as Andrea. Apparently I'm getting big time by everybody. I have nobody's numbers, no emails, no responses and shit. Breezy's the only one.
You were on the big show.
Tansy and Breezy slummed down for me, man.
You were on the big show.
Yeah, but I don't have phone numbers, man, like you.
Just
Well, I think they watch. I
Hang
think they
on to
watch / listen to the podcast. They're like, I think we know who the point of contact should be.
Well, just don't give me your home address and everybody will be safe. But a phone number's okay, right? And cell phones. I mean, for Christ's sakes.
No, so we've had Breezy on. We've had, even though he's not part of the Failure to Stop, Dexter Pitts on. And we're slowly trying to get every member of the Failure to Stop family on as a guest before we head to Clayton. So today we are honored to have Mr. Deadleg Media. We're going to bring him in right now.
Ooh.
Oh, he's here.
I don't have a can, so I'll make that. But I do have a can.
There you go.
You know what? Oh, there we go.
We crossed that bridge a long time ago, brother.
Oh, look at that stash, man.
It's getting out of control.
No bullshit. You keep that little caterpillar up top there, man, until I get down there and see you.
Dude, my wife and my mother-in-law are both every day. Yeah, you got to get rid of that. I'm like, dude, people are watching. People like this.
I'm going to tell you this, Josh. They're going to continue to do it, which is what has kept me continuing to keep mine. As long as it's a mother-in-law and a wife. I mean, that speaks. Yeah, this thing is staying.
The only unfortunate thing, and Imperial Girl said epic mustaches today. The only unfortunate thing is Rob had green dye in his on beautiful. Friday, and I was hoping like hell it would not wash out. So when he went to court today, he had green eyebrows and a green mustache, and sorely disappointed.
I look like the first person to get waterboarded in Ireland by a female guard. I mean, it was pretty bad. It was
epic.
How much effort went into getting that out?
Shower down with shampoo, buddy.
That's it?
Yep.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Is.
I'm a little surprised by that.
But keep that baby, man. That thing is beautiful. And I got a song that I think I finished. I got to run it by our boy to put some music to it. But the lyrics are there. Cowgirl, mustache cowgirl. I think it's going to be the final name of it.
It'll probably be on the number one on iTunes as soon as you drop it.
Definitely will, man. They see Herking on there. This son of a bitch has got talent, and look at that stash.
I had no idea there was a dark iTunes. I had no idea.
Yeah, you have to clear your schedule. You're going to be on tour. It's going to be a big mess.
You better clear your cookies, your cache, everything in your fucking computer.
I'm going to have to get a travel doc just so I can get some antibiotics on tour. Shit, I know they're going to be popping the meth and crack and coke at me, but fuck.
So we got some followers from Failure to Stop that have we were told we've been adopted by the wolf pack. So they're in the chats right now. But for anybody that listens to ours that hasn't listened to Failure to Stop, Josh, give us a little bit of background on you just so they know who they're hearing or watching.
I was in the Army like Eric, and then I did contracting work for the Navy for a little bit, and then I was a base cop for the Marine Corps. And of all places to be a base cop as a civilian, I worked in Hawaii. So for quite a few years, I lived out in Hawaii. I was Hawaii 5-0 on the beach. It was awesome. I can't say anything greater about it. Then I worked for Ohio State University for a little bit, the Department of Public Safety. I was
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. That was probably the best place I've ever worked in my entire life.
They kicked some ass. The Bucks kicked some ass this weekend in NCAA basketball, man.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
They did?
No. Ohio State did not.
Oh, it was ass. Kentucky yesterday.
No,
yeah, that was an epic win.
No, it was not Kentucky.
Oh, my bad.
I think Iowa did pretty good, didn't they?
Michigan State's the only Big Ten team left.
Oh,
in the NCAA tournament.
The other one I ever followed is football.
And by the way, you will get interrupted multiple times, and that's just normal. So just power through it and just keep going.
Oh, no worries. I'm an avid listener.
Yeah, he's been on.
He already knows.
Long-time listener, first-time guest.
I like the mustache. I can't. We've got about an 8-second delay on this TV here from the video.
Your FOMO right now of just not sitting in the room with him.
No, it's not FOMO, man. It's a man crush, I think, developing.
Something.
This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship, Josh.
I've always in need of a good attorney.
Casablanca.
Well, here I'll get you a number.
If anything's going to make you rethink that mustache, it's going to be the bromance with Rob. So hopefully that'll.
When Dan gets out of the car in Clayton, he's going to look like he won the Indy 500 with all that milk mustache going on.
No, that's not happening.
Oh yeah, it
is. There's something
can
wrong.
We let our guests? You know can we let our guests?
It really
talk?
is.
Sorry,
how's
Josh.
that sound?
Go ahead.
I want to ask you about your time in the Navy. And
he was in the Army.
I was in the Army.
pay attention.
I thought you said Navy.
Jesus.
I did contracting work for the Navy.
Yeah, contracting work for the Navy. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Because
now he's
cover your
reeling.
tracks.
Because what's relevant is the Secretary of the Navy just came out and he was having a meeting with the leader of the Bahamas or something like that. And he says,
Hopefully they're an ally.
he says that the Navy is going to be stronger and better off because they have prioritized their mission in the Navy. And the number one priority of the Navy is now climate change. So the Navy is, and never mind that China is building up their Navy, and they're going to have a far superior Navy by 2050, which is their long-range plan. We're subtracting ships, getting rid of ships, and the Secretary of the Navy is very proud.
They're not going to be prepared, though, for the climate change going on. They're not going to be ready to ice fight.
I'm just asking. As a guy who did contracting work for the Navy and has a military background, are you on board with this notion?
There we go. There is a question. Go ahead, Dan.
The climate change is the number one priority because, I want to be in step with our friends in the military.
Well, I would say they gave that warrant out for Putin. So next week they're going to issue a warrant for climate change so they can go arrest climate change and we can get to the bottom of this and finally have the justice that this globe needs. So
don't say her name.
It's a clown world.
Everybody
really
wants to say one name here right now, and I don't want to hear the damn thing.
I don't want to hear it.
It's a clown world.
So I'm that's interesting, Dan. I didn't know that. And they were having meetings with the Bahamas.
I forget who it was. It was some world leader somewhere.
World leader in the Bahamas. Jesus.
Well,
that's an arsenal right there.
If you lead the Bahamas, that makes you a world leader, I guess.
The fucking Cuban people can sail on little rafts across the river.
Well,
I'm
just saying,
the ocean to America. I've never seen any refugees from Bahamas.
And was very proud to let everyone know that when it comes to climate change, no one is better equipped to lead the way in dealing with that scourge than the U.S. Navy.
Hey, Josh, I'm going to shift gears here a little bit. As much as I thank you for your service in the Army, your contracting work with the Navy, and all the benefits you gave for climate change and working with Greta Thunberg, I do want to know, because I'm going to see the movie tonight, what was it like working with Woody Harrelson?
For which one?
The Champions.
Honestly, I've never seen it.
Oh, really? Okay.
I have no idea where the fuck you're going with that.
No, yeah. It's a new movie out. I didn't know if he was consulting with them too or not.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he's got certain special skills.
I do talk with a lot of people for a lot of weird things on a daily basis.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a quick shout out real quick because I know Keith's got a couple as well he wants to do, but I just want to say happy birthday to my son, Griffin, who turned 16 today.
Big 1-6.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah. And
keep it between the ditches.
What'd you say?
Keep it between the driving.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Don't drive into a ditch.
Because I was going to say, now you can see Julia, 23-year-old that he's quite fond of.
Infatuated.
It's legal in the state of Ohio now. She's not a parent, coach, teacher, personal loco parentis.
It felt like forever for him to get to 16, though.
It did.
It seemed like when he got his temps, this kid is one of the greatest kids ever. Obviously, comes all from his mother. Didn't come from you.
It does.
But
if we can only find out who his mother was.
Now, like once he can actually get his license, like it has seemed like a forever path since he got his temps to now he is actually 16. But now special birthday to Griff. Great kid.
He's awesome, a great kid. Smart kid. All he does is eat and grow tall. I drive by McDonald's. I gained 10 pounds going in shorter. He's been driving since he's 12. He races motocross as well. So he should be all right with the test. But he's got a baseball scrimmage tonight that I might go watch the tail end of if we get out of here.
It's going to be chilly out there.
They're gonna give him a possible baseball team serenade for happy birthday.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Happy birthday to him.
What have you been doing lately, Deadleg Josh? Do you want me to call you Dingo Baby Deadleg Josh? What?
Either, as long as you're not late for supper,
right.
I'm good with anything. There's been a lot. We're revamping our website. I've been working a lot with that with Eric. talking with John and Drew, working on the backside of Comm Center. And then we're working on a new show that we're premiering tonight for our members, a comedy show at 7:30. So there's a lot of stuff throughout the day that just for Failure to Stop that keeps me busy.
Very nice.
Sweet, a comedy show. Who's the comedian?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say yet.
That's fun.
If you were a member, you'd know.
Keep it tight.
But you're not a member.
Oh, is it out on the member page?
I think because he said a little bit more on the members than he said for other stuff. So the members do know a little bit more, but cool. I don't know if he's dropped the name yet officially.
I love the fact that Imperial Girl is here again. Sorry, Josh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, but he's hilarious. Some of the stories that I've heard just so far, it's going to be a hit for sure.
That's cool. I like that.
I was just telling Keith last night, I was up late because I can't sleep because of the sickness shit, but Burt Kreischer's new special on Netflix. It was all good, but the last 40 minutes, I'm coughing anyways, but I was laughing so hard I was crying, and it caused a coughing fit. I thought I was going to die on my couch by myself.
Talk about the luckiest man on earth.
Swinging.
Yes. That ain't no shit.
Dude, he's entertaining. Him, there's a couple of
I thought you were talking about me and Dan, him coughing himself to death.
Oh, is that what you were talking about? Thanks,
My fault. Understood.
Jesus.
No, Bert's a very lucky man.
Yeah, he is. He's got Leanne.
So how long have you been and give the association with Failure to Stop, as far as, how you got in and what you're doing with them, so that way some of the other listeners that don't know you.
It's kind of a weird story, and I'm more behind the scenes than I'm in front of the scenes. Around November, December, Eric had put out on Instagram asking if anybody wanted to help post and manage the Instagram for Last Call. And I'm retired. I sit around my computer most of the day. So I'm like, I can make some posts. I see some funny memes. I can help out with that. I believe in what the Failure to Stop does and the mission that they're putting out. And in November, December last year, they hit a lot on mental health, which especially down that time of year is the biggest. There wasn't an episode that you didn't feel moved at the end of it. Even you laughed, you cried, you did it. So I believe in everything that they're doing. So when Eric had put out for help, I said, yeah, I'll help. And then each week it's just become, hey, we've got this other thing. You think you can look at this too? Or can we look at this other thing too? Or can we look at this other thing too? And at the end of every week, it's, hey, I know how to do that now too.
So you're on the job learning / some of your
cool
qualities that you already had, but then you and I have talked on the phone as far as like some of the things you've gotten thrown into. You're like, oh, I can figure it out. I got time to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a rare nerve condition called complex regional pain syndrome, and if you're having a bad day, just go look that up and make you feel better because you don't have that. It basically causes excruciating pain all the time. There's no break. There's no cure. It spreads. It's really, really bad. And if I get really talking about it, it sounds like I complain too much, but it gives you a lot of free time because I don't sleep a lot. So throughout the day, I have to engage myself with something because every time I'm engaging with something, I'm not thinking about pain. So if I'm driving on my simulator that's behind me, if I'm flying on the flight simulator, if I'm watching Failure to Stop, whatever it is, it's not pain. So I looked at it as, hey, this is something else that I can try to help focus on. And as the months and weeks have progressed, it's just giving me more and more things to kind of do throughout the day.
Hey, Dingo Baby, real quick, let me ask you a question.
I love the fact you're calling him Dingo Baby.
It says right Dingo Baby right there.
Yeah, I'm Dingo Baby.
Dingo Baby.
Do you mind taking a question on it?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Kiefer was kind of explaining it to me. So if the nerves, you say it keeps going up and up and up, is there a hope at one point in time there's a surgery that's going to resolve that by removal of a nerve, or is it going to continue to matriculate up your body to other places that are going to cause residual pain on a regular basis?
So it's not MS, and it's not anywhere close to like how MS is, and how MS is, and it's very individualistic. And with some people with MS, it's very progressive and it's very quick and it's very debilitating. Same thing with the CRPS. Some people have it and it just stays in the area that was affected and it doesn't move. It doesn't spread. Some people actually go into remission. I'm, on the other hand, it's a very active. So I started in my right leg below the knee where I broke my leg, where the injury happened, and it spread to my left leg. And during that process, they put an implant in my left butt cheek, and it's kind of like a little pacemaker, and it's a stimulator, and it's got wires that go up my spine, and it helps mask the pain before it gets to my brain. So it doesn't stop it, but it kind of makes it manageable so I can go to the bathroom and fill my cup up throughout the day. Beyond that, there's really nothing. It's not like it's not like I'm terminal or anything, but you're very much treating the symptoms. You're just trying to make me feel better as long as possible, for as much better as possible.
Now, on the leg where the injury occurred, is it something with that condition that, had it at the start of it, you decided to do a below the knee amputation? Would it continue to matriculate up and go throughout your body, or?
So the progress of how I broke the leg, and then I had, and Keith can explain how severe compartment syndrome is. I had very, very bad compartment syndrome, and I almost lost my leg because of it. So I spent a month in the hospital then. I had 6 surgeries to save the leg. I've had 13 total. And so throughout that whole process, I've always, like, from the get-go, I've had the severe nerve pain. And then around December of 2017 is when I got hurt. I got hurt in May of 2017. So around December and January is when the pain psychologist I was seeing said, hey, you need to talk to your primary care about seeing a pain specialist about this specific condition. Because one of the things that CRPS does is it causes temperature differences in the affected limbs. So like my right leg is significantly colder than my left leg, to a point where we were asking the doctors about it because we thought I had circulation problems. So when we found out about the CRPS, or they said what the CRPS was, the first thing that my brain was, oh, we have something to call this. Then we know what we can do. We can treat it. And then I Googled it and figured out how up shit's creek I am. So next thing I said, hey, well, let's cut it off. And they said, it doesn't work like that. It's once your body has it, your body has it. And any trauma will just piss it off and aggravate it anymore. So even like the surgeries that I have had, and even some of the orthopedic surgeries, there's quite a few that we have not done because is it going to give me the ability to walk better versus is it going to aggravate the CRPS? And we risk versus reward, and we'd rather just stay where we're at with it. But the amputation is for sure always on the table, because part of the CRPS is it likes to fuse joints. So I've done really well with my knee to maintain what I have, but my ankle is pretty fused. So it'll become more of a mobility thing than a pain thing, because cutting it off will not get rid of the pain. I've already lost 2 major nerve roots, so I had really bad phantom pain because of it. So getting rid of it won't get rid of the pain, because I already don't feel the leg, but I already have pain anyway. So, but yeah.
And I've got friends of mine that have lost limbs, and below the knee amputation actually is one that I'm thinking of right now. And he talks about the phantom pains that are still there, or popping out of bed and shit and forgetting that his leg's there, even though it's been years later.
And that's, we were talking about it earlier. Like the phantom pain to me is just a phenomenon that is just absolutely crazy. Obviously,
like when we meet up, you guys touch my leg and all this, like you can feel where you can touch it where I can't feel it. So you can touch and slap and poke and all that stuff. But
I feel weird that Bobby coming on in Clayton.
It very much, because I don't feel it. But then it's the sympathetic nerves that get irritated, and that's what I feel. And with nerve pain, there's like highest levels of pain medicine. That's what kind of does it, but it just takes the edge off. It really doesn't do anything for it. So if I have a super, super bad flare up and I end up in an emergency room, I get a shot of Dilaudid or I get some ketamine.
Ooh, both good. Both very good.
99.
And for me, I'm almost like a high level pain addict, where like it really doesn't do much to me. Yeah, it's not because I have a high tolerance. It's just because it's so much pain.
You hit a point. Yeah. With your pain level, there's some things that just won't touch it.
Can I ask one more before are you going to switch?
No, go ahead.
If you and Kiefer were walking down the sidewalk side by side, and he has no leg injuries, would you have a similar gait, or would your gait be noticeably different, even if you're having a great day?
Oh yeah, for sure. When I walk, I have a carbon fiber one, and I have another one I'm getting adjusted, a foot-based thing for my foot drop, because all my nerve damage is on the front part of my leg. So I have control of my foot so I can bring it up, but all of those muscles are extremely weak.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't matter how much physical therapy I've done. There's no nerve. They're like the nerve strength isn't there. So I don't build any strength. So as soon as I put anything beyond a sock on my shoe, my foot drops. So between that and just break it, like even I don't have good days. I have bad days and I have slightly less bad days. So even on like, no matter what, when I walk, I have a cane because my foot hits stuff. And then my other leg, I'll get the nerve pain. And then as it's progressed, I get a new thing where I get shearing nerve pain that goes up my tibia as soon as my heel hits the ground. So it's a fun progressive
Well,
thing.
a couple weeks ago,
Unbelievable.
a couple weeks ago when we were on the phone, I was going to go visit my mom at the hospital, and you and I were on the phone. You were helping me out with some things, and the way you described it, you said, imagine taking an ice pick and shoving it up from your foot all the way up your shin bones. And I was like, yep, pretty much. Yep, I got it. You described that absolutely perfectly. And that absolutely sounds terrible. I hate that you're going through it, but not ever meeting you in person and only seeing you obviously on the Failure to Stop lives. And, when you're on, with Eric and talking to you on the phone, we've never met in person, just like you haven't met some of your Failure to Stop family.
Yeah, I've never met anyone in person either.
But to not know, and so Rob was asking, is he in a wheelchair? His name's Deadleg. I mean, is he in a wheelchair? I said, well, no, I know he's not in a wheelchair. He told me that part. But, just not knowing. But, I mean, it's a very rare,
and I was going to
disease
ask,
process.
What's the prevalence in the United States?
It's extremely rare. I think like 1 in 10,000 people a year get it.
Okay.
And compartment syndrome, like you were saying, compartment syndrome is, I mean, just catastrophic. And the fact that you still have limbs after suffering compartment syndrome is amazing in itself. But
you'll see the skin graft when we get to, and I can post pictures on Instagram. I've ever sent you pictures of it. My entire side of my calf is a skin graft. So they had to take from my knee joint all the way down to my ankles what was cut open. So the whole inside of that was out. And it set like that for pretty much the entire month I was in the hospital. That's
so how was your leg broken? Go through that if you don't mind.
So
and if you don't want to, it's okay.
I was on the space shuttle and I was fighting this bear and I got thrown out.
Was it the coke bear?
The cocaine bear.
It was the cocaine bear, and I just had to do it. I took one for I started a job surveying natural gas pipeline, and the guys that waved the little thing and put the little flags in your yard, that's what I did. There's a lot more to it, and we did a lot more with it, what we did, but the gist of it was that. And because of that, we have to go in backyards and things like that. So this is my second week on the job as well. We're finishing up in this backyard. We're getting ready to go to lunch. My position on the team is a GPS position. We have to log every physical GPS position because what happens is after we get done with our surveys, we take those surveys and they get overlaid on another survey, and other engineers and stuff look at the stuff. So they need the actual physical GPS standpoint. So someone has to go stand there with this point and play God or whatever. So you don't need a certificate to do that. So that's what I was doing. Because there's so many points, you're a little bit further back in the line, and it's a team of 3 of us. There's a guy that's on a locate, and there's another guy that's in the middle that's doing another read to try to figure out if there's potential cracks in the pipe. It's actually super interesting, nerdy stuff, but they were ahead, maybe half a football field or so when we were done with this backyard. And I climbed over the fence to get back out on the other side. When I let go, I was about maybe 3 or 4 feet off the ground. Wasn't like I jumped maybe off the hood of a car. Like it wasn't an astronomical distance. For whatever reason, my leg broke. And I broke the tibia, had a spiral compression fracture from the tibia plateau. And the docs told me it would have been better if I broke my femur, to give you an idea of how bad it was. So basically the first
spiral.
Yeah. So compressed, like the first about 7 or 8 inches of the, it just went goodbye. My
nerdy paramedicine just jumped in.
Yeah, it was all internal though. So nothing got kicked out, that was probably one of the saving graces. And the whole time I've never had knock on wood, of all the complications and as bad as things have gotten, I've not gotten an infection yet for all the surgeries and everything. So we came off the fence. I hit the ground, broke my leg. As soon as I hit the ground, oh yeah, instantly. It was loud. I knew it. The guys down the street knew it. Anybody else that was in earshot knew it. So the fire department was literally across the street from where we were at. I could see it through the tree line. They could probably hear before it toned out. So the guys come back, they calling it for the ambulance. And I've only been with these guys for like 3 days of my life. Now I'm in this massive traumatic event. I have been around trauma. So I'm starting to triage things, pulling things out of my pocket. I know we're going to cut my pants off. I know we're going to go to the hospital. I know we need to make some phone call. Like I'm in that mode. They're freaking out. So I told them to go stand away because they look like they were going to pass out. Ambulance comes.
Start turning white and shit.
The ambulance comes. They stabilize me. We put me in the ambulance. And they're like, where do you want to go? I'm like, I live in Colorado. This is Memphis. I've been here like 4 days. A hospital would probably be my suggestion.
Where do people normally go? If you had a parent or a brother sitting here, where do you go not to die around this place?
I mean, not making light of the situation, but seriously, motherfucker, I need to go to the fucking ER.
Well, I would have at least said a good hospital.
A trauma center would be good.
There are some hospitals around here, though, that we have talked about. If you had a 90% chance of living, go here, 80, 70 on down. And sometimes you're going to risk it.
Yeah, and Memphis is, I mean, it's a rough city now. It was rough back then. Like we knew when we were in some of the rough areas when we were doing stuff. So they took me to their trauma center. And
pretty rough for Tyree Nichols too, man. Jesus.
Yeah, we get there and they straighten my leg and take me to X-ray. And the whole time they're talking about this compartment syndrome and this. And I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. So the doctors come out and they're like, you're going to surgery right now. I'm like, okay, well, I kind of figured that. And he's like, well, you need to understand when you wake up, you probably won't have a leg. I'm like, okay.
Would that have been better at the time if they had just...
That's a $50,000 million question that I ask. Because I don't know because the CRPS is one of those weird things that most females have it actually. And it develops it just happens from like an ankle break or something really small.
There's some that's how the podcast rolled right now.
And then the other type is from a very, very, very traumatic nerve injury. So I either have the very rare female or I got hit by a bus kind of bad. So we went to surgery. I woke up and I had a skeleton, big rod sticking out of my leg, out of my femur, sticking out of my ankle. I had a big skeleton on the outside of my leg. And then it was in a big ace bandage. And then there was a big tube coming out of the side of my calf. And it was where they had my ankle cut open. And then it was a big suction thing to pull all the swelling out.
Wow.
Sounds awesome.
I could have never been a doctor.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with it.
Never. Absolutely never. So where you live now, you live in Memphis now?
No, I live in Colorado. We had just moved out here. So the fun story, the further backstory on it, my wife and I moved out here when she started doing her PhD. And when we moved out here, we realized the houses were stupid expensive back then, like 2016, 2017. So after a year living out here, we're like, well, we want to buy a house. So we went to the bank and they're like, well, your income doesn't count. We're like, well, we have money. We can pay for it. Like, well, it's not qualified income. So I took this job so we could go do this house thing. And we still don't have the house. But we've been out here in Colorado since then. And she's going to graduate. She's going to walk here in May.
Yeah.
What's her PhD in?
She's in behavioral science. She's
not coming to state, is she?
No, but she looks at she specializes in aging brain. So it's not dementia and Alzheimer's, but dementia and Alzheimer's. So she looks at fMRI data and like super, super, super smart stuff. And she's an expert with data sets, super large, complex data sets to pull them out and say, hey, this is what this stuff means. So she'll eventually be smart enough to realize she's with me, and then she'll be really better off in life.
You can see the end coming. But I was going to ask, since the condition you have is so exceedingly rare, is it? Did you have to move to where you knew there were people there that could treat, and people you could work with this condition, or there's a
few doctors here in Colorado that are chronic pain specialists, and then so like any chronic pain doctor can treat it because that's what it would fall under. But there's the one that I have now. One of the things he specializes in is CRPS. So through unfortunate events, I ended up getting with someone that actually knows what they're talking about. And he's very, very proactive and he's very communicative. We have a very amazing dialogue back and forth now. So I'm optimistically hopeful.
Can I interrupt real quick? I just want to answer one of John's questions before he goes to work. John from Comm Center is having some issues. He's got a wire touching a panel of his vehicle, and I just want to let him know the quickest way to troubleshoot that aspect is turn the car on, make sure there's power going through all the wires, and start touching the outside part of the quarter panels. And when you shoot back about 10 feet, you know what quarter panel it is touching. You should be able to get in there and diagnose it, but make sure you turn the car off again before you get in there and start cutting shit. Just FYI.
This coming from the guy. His wife does all the fucking manly shit around the house.
I bought a new 22-volt DeWalt power tool set for like $400 or $500 on sale, and she's like, "Why'd you get tools? Are those for me?" I was like, "Well, I'm not going to use them. Jesus Christ." So just giving you a little shout out there, John. Good luck. You're welcome.
Little backstory behind there, but I'm not going to throw John out on Front Street. But John had a little bit of a oopsie the other day, and he's just trying to get his car ready to go to work.
I hope he's feeling better. He's had a rough couple of days of pain. Yeah, he feels bad talking with me about it. I'm like, to me, like pain is very subjective. Like if you hurt, you hurt. A hangnail is a hangnail. Like irritating pain is irritating pain.
Try being on this podcast with Dan every week. Holy shit!
I can bring the pain.
Now you know what Kiefer and I deal with. So I don't want to hear your sniffling, Josh. Jesus.
I need to stop complaining. Just suck it up.
Yeah. Suck it up, Buttercup. Hey, Josh, you got a second to sit tight real quick because Dan's favorite segment's coming up.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool, man. Today is March 20th, 2023. Today in history. A lot of fun stuff happened.
He faked you out.
I did.
He said he wasn't going to do this day in
history. I sure did.
I didn't get overly excited about it.
Well, today in history, Fred Rogers had a birthday. If he was still alive, he would be continuing to age. He was born in, I can't read my writing, but I think it's 1928. If not, Google it.
One of the greatest guys ever.
3 years ago today, R.I.P., my friend, the gambler. Kenny Rogers passed away today.
Just don't get us banned.
You didn't kiss my ass. God bless you, Kenny Rogers. Taught me how to play poker.
He was a good one. We were talking about him the other day. The movie, the old movie Six Pack.
Yeah, so we were talking about
he was a stock car driver.
Yeah, with the kids, the unruly kids that were his pit crew.
Great movie.
1987. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but spurred on by Magic Johnson, AZT became the first drug to be approved by the US FDA to treat AIDS. And I say that with Magic admitting to having sex with over 300 women, probably unprotected. There's a cheaper way to make sure that doesn't happen, and it's called a condom or less veracity. 1969. It is a great year, by the way, as well as March 20th. John Lennon, Beatles fame, and Yoko Ono got married. Dan, you know where they got married?
Oh, thank God for that.
They got married on their waterbed or something like that, didn't they?
It was in Gibraltar, Dan.
Okay.
Waterbed, Gibraltar.
I don't know.
Was it 110, 220?
I was never a Beatles fan.
So 1854, Dan will love this one.
Fact.
You know what happened today in 1854, Dan? You throw me on the spot.
You were graduating high school, weren't you, Dan?
It was kindergarten.
He was winding the first car up at the fucking Ford factory.
1854. What, you're 1854?
And now you're stalling. You're just asking, what do you want me to use?
No, I have no idea what happened on this day in 1854.
The Republican Party was formed by anti-Nebraska Democrats and Free Soilers from Wisconsin. Do you know what Free Soilers are, Dan? And we're not talking about you needing a diaper and a car ride. What is a Free Soiler, buddy?
Some political party, I would imagine.
Yeah, you were close.
It's your car on the way to Clayton.
So. Jesus. I'm going to have to put the plastic down on it again. Like, I got it serviced. They opposed the expansion of slavery west, Dan, at the time, and they said, screw the Dems. They're pro-slavery and racism, and we're going to start our own party.
It is a political party.
Yeah, good job, Dan. So it's a Republican Party that you claim you like, but and this one kills me. I mean, and I'm not doing this for any other reason, but my wife's father's name is Tom, and I hear her cousins call him Uncle Tom regularly. And the book that goes to my mind right away is Harriet Beecher Stowe's book. It was first published in book form today in 1852. And
She lived here.
yes. And I'm going to hit one for tomorrow real quick. March 21st. In 1963, Alcatraz closed as a federal prison.
Ah, man.
That's what caused us to get Dan. He was transferred east from Alcatraz and
why-
served the rest of his time in the Department of Corrections here in Ohio.
3 guys supposedly escaped, and that's why we can't have anything nice.
Yeah, they tried to get him over to South Dakota, but they took him north on accident.
I've seen Alcatraz before.
John,
have too.
John from Com Center, please get Josh black tar heroin for his pain. We're gonna work on it, my man.
You can get it. I can call right now and get that in 20 minutes, man. But try to get an antibiotic. Jesus Christ. Fucking Sunday, 10-hour adventure. And I was getting ready to bootleg some shit with calls to doctor friends. So that is today in history, aside from my son's 16th birthday. And that's pretty much all I got today.
We're gonna go somber real quick, Josh, just real quick, and then we're gonna get back to some fun stuff. But
Oh, you're good.
so I'm in a police and fire motorcycle club, and we lost a brother on Friday who was down in Daytona for Bike Week, got hit at a stoplight sitting still at probably 45, 50 miles an hour by a 3-time convicted DUIer, 4th time that day. And then he ended up passing like a week and a half later. I think it was a week and a half, roughly. So he passed away on Friday. Mike Hopper, Pokey at our club, great dude. And then today, close to home here in Anderson Township, where we're from, Bill Ellison, who was a fireman, who he succumbed to his injuries 22 years ago today, which doesn't seem like it was 22 years ago. But went down on March 8th, fell through a basement.
I remember that. I knew that name sounded familiar.
Got severely burned, survived for 2 weeks. But today was his demise 22 years ago. So just a quick raise a glass of something.
100%, guys.
100%.
Thank you for all you do, guys and girls. Thank you for all you do.
We lost some great people on this day. So
Many condolences.
Yeah.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but
well, like John said on the podcast comments, was everybody's terminal.
That's
so
right.
Buck up, Josh.
It's a fact.
It's from your
the only thing guaranteed in life is death and taxes.
Well, taxes you just don't have to pay sometimes. Then you wait till they fine you.
Unless you're a CPA and you know how to get away with
sometimes they fine you, sometimes they don't.
So you guys, all right. So to lighten the mood a little bit, so you guys are coming up with some good things on Failure to Stop. Obviously, you and I have talked a bunch since we've now gone video and asking some tech support, some you can help, some you can't, or push me in the right direction. But you guys are doing some great things over there, and super excited for Clayton. I mean, we keep talking about it, and like I said, we're trying to get everybody in the family, the Failure to Stop family, on. But the fact that what amazes me with you guys is none of you have been in the same room together ever. And this thing is now, you guys are rolling and bringing in, since the first of the year and maybe a little bit before, but, bringing in new players and, this new show that's, potentially going to be on Mondays. It is awesome. How excited are you to be able to be in the same room with Drew and Eric and Andrea and John? I mean, how cool is that? I
told John last night, we were texting, I said, this is like I won Make-A-Wish for adults. It really, I am, my spot with Failure to Stop is Make-A-Wish for adults. It's awesome. The stuff that they're doing, the things that's coming out, the people that we've got to talk to. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we got John and Drew had one of John's dispatcher friends on, and the story that she told, it was her story. Was
that Amanda?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
Awesome.
It's just, we just sat there and everyone just shut up and let her talk. She just had such an amazing story, and the people that we're getting to talk to, and the cases that we're finding, and the content that they're putting out, it's amazing. And I'm kind of cool. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan because we got some really awesome fans, but I really have the best seat of anybody to be a part of what's going on with Failure to Stop.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys and Kiefer and I are going to try to take some notes so we can make sure we're never in the same room again with Dan. But we're going to have a blast down there. Sorry, big guy. You know what? You can be a free soiler in my car. Jesus.
Can what?
Be a free soiler in my car. I'm sure they got the drive-up car washes. I can get a hose out and just on the seats. It's leather. It's fine. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody down there. I know there's a lot of big timers and shit on your podcast, but that's cool that you and John talk, you and Kiefer talk, you guys text. It sounds a beautiful community thing. So I'm really happy for everybody on Failure to Stop.
I think Rob wants you to send him a text message.
Sure does not.
I was going to say, after the show, I'll make sure we get my message over, or my phone number over.
Here, if it makes you feel better, I'll give you his number right now.
Send him a smiley face or something.
I'll tell you what, Josh sends me his number. I will send you the green mustache pic. Man.
I'm just saying, beautiful. Be careful what you wish for.
It is beautiful.
That was epic.
Josh has a lot more time than you do.
That's perfect.
He has a lot more idle time that I'm sure he could send you something when you say, be careful. And hey, I'm going to talk to you. He's going to send you some shit. And it'll be 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Sweet,
while you're awake. While you're awake. And you're going to be like, what the fuck?
I'm in.
Okay, I'm sure you are.
Well, shit, you've been on vacation at 2 a.m. and I FaceTime called you when I was drunkenly walking down the street to my house because I saw a cop. I was like, shit, he's turning around.
Do I turn right or left?
Do I go up to this neighbor's house and start knocking on the damn door? I was a mile away from my house. A 1 mile walk.
There's a little bit of FOMO, Josh. It's fine.
There's no FOMO.
I'm gonna make sure he has everybody's numbers.
Faux
so
show.
That way he doesn't feel
no
left
FOMO.
Out.
So we're all good, man.
See how Dan's just sitting there. Dan doesn't care. Dan's just like, whatever.
I just text myself. I don't care.
It's all right to have a conversation with yourself. It's when you go, "What'd you say?" That's when you have a problem.
That is a problem.
Well, I do want to say there may or may not have been a night where talking to inanimate objects.
Talked to a garbage can one night. I thought it was 3 people. I go to the bathroom. I come back out. I'm like, where'd they go? Like, who the hell are you talking about? I was like, the 3 guys that were standing right here. She's like, you were talking to the garbage can for 2 minutes. It's like, it felt like 30. And they were nice people.
And anybody that knows them, it's not shocked. But for people that don't know them, you're like, what?
Well, I'm okay with it.
That's why I cannot wait to see what happens when we get down there.
No.
We're either all going to be friends, us 3 and all of us, or it's just, hey, it was great knowing you. Thanks for the help.
I think what they're going to do is Raleigh PD is just going to bring their big van, their paddy wagon van, and just stage it out front. So we'll be good. And they can process us and then get us back out because the catch and release that police departments have now. So we'll be in and out like 20 minutes. Be like pee break. Everybody gets a pee break.
Everybody gets a pee break.
Well, Dan's a free soiler. He'll just do it in the van. Paddy wagon. Yeah, it's a good time. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. I'm looking forward to drinking rum. And God, rum is dangerous and it's good. It's like holy water.
Well, to be able to be for us,
I'm looking forward to it.
To be in the same room. I mean, we've met Drew, we met Eric. I wish Dexter was going, but he's not. But to meet Andrea, to meet all those people that have actually, they have helped grow us. Tech support or just, hey, you should do this, you should do that. It's we're a grassroots podcast that actually coming up on a year. 10 days from now will be a year.
Dang.
From the first
1 year, baby.
First one that we ever released, and had no idea how to do it 2 months before that. So they have all helped us so much. So I think it'll be fun. And then hopefully we grab some nuggets of knowledge coming back, and then seeing how an actual professional operation works, I guess is probably the right wording.
I'd pump the brakes on that professional word. All right.
Speaking of people that have also helped us,
a lot more followers than us.
Varner Netherton Revival. The boys are together again and making the best music of their lives. Cincinnati's own Dan Varner has rejoined with longtime friends Nick, Brad, and Ryan. Now the Varner Netherton Revival is filling clubs and arenas from the Queen City to Nashville and every place in between. Varner Netherton Revival is more than award-winning musicians and recording artists. They're just plain fun. Their vocal harmonies has crowds of 10 to 10,000 standing up and singing along. And the best part is you can book them for your event. Check out a show near you and find out more at varnernetherton.com. That's varnernetherton.com. And I'm going to tell you, Dan and
Big fun.
This is the sad part. I do now remember seeing Carol there Friday night, but I did not remember, was it Friday night or Saturday night? We were
Friday
at the
night.
bar. I picked up on that now after I talked to Kiefer.
Friday night. I was there.
I had no recollection of what night it was, but it was St. Patty's night. He played up the street, and we're trying to talk Dano into coming down. We're trying to talk a bunch of others to come down. I think we got some good gifts for you guys as well that we're working on.
I know Andrea, she's been working on updating merch and stuff, so I'm not sure exactly what she's got, but I know she has some stuff that came in a week or two ago as well.
Well, we've been in talks. Can I talk about it?
Yeah.
With our friends and hopefully soon to be formal partners, Engraved in USA, and they do the beautiful stuff, the mugs and shit that Tansy and Breezy got up here, and all our guests get. They take incredible good care of us, and we're gonna try to drag one or two, if not all, with us. But I'm trying to get Varner to come down. You guys are the people that support us locally here are as beautiful as you people down there that support us. And I think it would be an awesome encounter for everybody to be together that week in April after Easter and just totally meet each other, get along with each other, because there may be things that they can do for you. Dan is prolific in the music industry, books acts locally as well as all the way down 75. Engraved in USA is worldwide with their internet presence, up and coming business. Yeah. Kind of like our podcast, and they make beautiful products, and they're led by a hell of a team.
And they're fun. They're just fun. Yeah. So like when I say like the grassroots, like we have a bunch of, and I don't know if we've talked about this, but we've got private sponsors that are helping us. We don't have Manscaped or Ghost Beds yet, but we've got people that are supporting this and throwing their 2 cents, whatever's going to help. Whether it's just cash or tech or whatever. So it's been a fun journey. And the fact that we're coming up on a year is actually kind of scary because it doesn't. Sometimes it feels like it. Sometimes it doesn't.
Some episodes feel like 2 years with Dan sitting next to me.
But I mean, to be hanging out and talking with you guys, and Eric has just been instrumental. Anytime I've called him, he's picked up. Hey, I got a serious question. I know you're busy. I know you're skating with the kids, whatever. Always willing to pick up the phone. So we're gonna lean on obviously a bigger show that can help us, hopefully get to that level. But it's all baby steps, and the fact that the Wolfpack, I know Rob's been involved obviously with it, being a guest and then becoming a member, and I try to get on Com Center anytime I can, and then I've been on your guys' Tuesday shows or Wednesday shows at noon. Trying to be involved and getting to know the people that are following us now. I mean, I'm seeing the comments, and there's a ton of Wolfpack people, and our last one when I think it was Imperial Girl. I can't remember Imperial Girl or Falconator said, you guys have been adopted by the Wolfpack. I love that. I mean,
and we love that they get on when we do our podcast, even without one of the guys from the Wolfpack.
Yes,
and that's awesome.
And it's all. It's all networking, and that's any business or anything of the like. I mean, it's all networking and knowing and being with like-minded people, and that's the biggest part.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm sure that Eric and all the rest of the guys and Andrea would say the same thing, but to me, it doesn't feel like we have like hosts and like personalities and fans. It feels like we have just the people that are talking and the rest of the community. It's like it's building a community more than building anything, and that's what's cool. Seeing the community help each other and rally behind each other. One of our members got hurt over the weekend, and the whole weekend they was like, "Hey, how's everything doing?" The Discord all the weekend was, "Hey, are you feeling better?" It's that community, like of just that like-minded people. It makes it easier to get up in the day. Because all the craziness that's in the world and the news and everything else is all just doom and gloom. But you get up and you have a good community of people that, like, hey, I know that if I have a bad day, someone's got my back.
Yes, sir.
It's okay to get up out of bed and have a bad day because you got someone to have your back. It's cool to be a part of that. It really is.
Yeah. And we've talked about it up here. I mean, just generally the bar we go to, which is technically a restaurant. They got great food, by the way. The people that we have met in this area, in this community, actually of 48,000 people, they are the type of people, though, that the vast majority, that if you need something, if you struggle, they will give you a hand up, and they will help you to the best of their ability, and they will come together and rally behind that. And I love the fact of your Failure to Stop First Responder podcast that, I mean, you guys are veterans, you're first responders, and that's a tight knit community in and of itself. But you guys do more than that, and you branch out. I mean, good people fall on hard times a lot of times, and they shouldn't be relied upon family or their own self to get back where they need to be to provide for their family. But you guys will step in and help them get that way, get to that point in time. And it's not so much a, hey, this is going to be forever type of thing. Everybody in your community that you guys reach out are the people that are self-reliant, want to do their own thing and be self-sufficient as soon as possible. And I think that is great because it doesn't demean what you're doing, and it doesn't incite people to be, constantly putting their hand out, constantly doing this and that. I mean, these are people that, like you guys, military, et cetera, do for their country. And that should be something echoed and celebrated around this country, if not around the world. And so much these days, especially in these major cities and shit, it's not, it's not what can I do for my country, it's what can my country do for me. And just to see it gives you the positivity you need to go on. And the feel good stories are awesome. And I, for one, and I know most of America, hell, we were built on people rooting for the underdogs. We were the underdogs in the 1700s. I enjoy the underdog tale, and I enjoy people that persevere and overcome any obstacle in their path and provide for themselves so that they can help somebody else down the road. And that's something that your community, the Wolfpack, brings. And it's something that I hope our community here continues to do, and especially our podcast community, if we continue to develop, does as well. And it's an outlet, and it's a tremendous thing in this country, and it's a tremendous thing for your followers.
Well, and it also falls into our grassroots
Midwest,
start,
baby.
Well, and our grassroots start is, we're new to this, so we're grabbing on. We all work, so we're all grabbing onto the social media and trying to be relevant and putting enough stuff out there. And Eric, when Rob was a guest a couple weeks ago with Drew and Eric on a Friday, Eric, our YouTube channel had just started. I mean, probably 4 or 5 days prior. And he was like, "Hey, Wolfpack, let's get these guys up over 100. We're at 95 right now." And I've seen a quick incline, but I mean, I would challenge any of the Wolfpack that hasn't said anything to somebody, come check us out. I mean, you may like some of them, you may not like others, but we've brought on some really good guests here for our local area, some big guests. And over the course of the year, from starting from nothing, I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of where we're at as far as what us three have done, as far as bringing like Marty Brennan, a National Hall of Famer broadcaster, multiple football players, multiple baseball players, and we've got another one coming up. And it's it's all local. I understand not everybody's from here. It's not everybody's going to gravitate to exactly what we're bringing, but the fact that some of these are just shooting from the hip and just seeing who's going to answer, and they do. And we create a relationship with them, and then, that builds and that builds. But, as well as I do, if you tell 2 people about this show and they tell 2 people and they tell 2 people, numbers count.
It spreads like fire. Like, I'm not even a baseball guy. And when I listened to Marty, I started it and I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to it because I want to support the guys. And about 15 minutes into it, I'm like, I'm sitting in this chair because I want to finish the rest of it. I'm not supporting these guys anymore. I'm a fan of this show. I'm supporting by being a fan, but it's. I was telling a friend of mine because I was explaining to him what you guys are doing. I was telling him the same story, and he's like, "If the 3 guys can talk to you about a subject matter that you don't have really any desire to listen to, but you can sit there and listen to them, they're doing something. It's amazing that the fast growth that you guys have got. It's really cool. I mean, I say it all the time. I'm in a really cool position just to see a bunch of things take off all at once. So,
I got teary-eyed twice on that episode. One, when when I asked the question about the Dragonfly Foundation that he kind of got off the ground. And because I remember that moment that he cut his hair. And John,
that was a huge deal here in Cincinnati. Yeah. Marty had hair about
beautiful,
like this.
Beautiful Aquanet fluffed hair. I mean, it was beautiful. And
the greatest helmet hair head in the world.
He was retelling that story, and he was getting choked up. I was getting choked up because I remember watching it live. And then the Joe Nuxall, his partner, longtime partner, when he passed in the final round of golf they played, in the closing chatter between those two. I mean, it was heartfelt. But truthfully, Kiefer and I have talked about this as well, is taking the show kind of on the road here and there, like your story with your struggles and the CRPS that you deal with and how your daily strife is. I mean, those are stories that impassion people and open people's eyes that, you know, like you said, if you think you're having a bad day, there's always somebody out there worse. And I think bringing those stories, if people are willing to tell them, to the forefront, puts in the back of people's minds that they have the ability to overcome whatever obstacles in their way. And you being former Army, I mean, I was never in the service, but I know you guys do the obstacle course, and there's a shit ton of obstacles to overcome during training and stuff. And you're taught to persevere and overcome those obstacles. And I think that is something that needs to be taught in life too. And I think your story is incredible. Many people, the kids that are suffering with cancer, one of my favorite charities is St. Jude. I think they do amazing things. And pediatric cancer is something that thankfully I haven't dealt with and I'll never need to deal with personally. But I know there are families out there. I've dealt with cancer my entire life with family and friends. And it's just something that's near and dear, especially for kids that didn't have a chance and to grow up yet. And that those are the stories that need to be told, and those are the organizations that need to be helped. But the parents that are dealing with this, because those kids are so optimistic and bright-eyed, even though the treatment is horrendous that they're going through. But those parents have the ability then to hear, hey, this guy is going through this. And it'll help them maybe stay not more focused, but, you know, temper the anxiety and the fear and everything else and the sadness, and let their kid hopefully overcome that and continue with treatment. Everything else. Those are my thoughts. And I'd love to hear some more real world stories of shit people deal with.
But the way I look at ours, like when I describe it, and I describe it being funny at first as, you know, it's three stepbrothers drinking a beer, arguing. But you've got a firefighter, a former police officer, an attorney, and a media personality who he could do law stuff all day on a podcast or police stuff. He could do politics all day, and I could do fireman stuff. We all get out of our comfort zone, and we will all throw our expertise in where it needs to be, but we just talk about things. And yeah, we do hit politics a bunch because we've gotten a lot of ammo. So why would you not capitalize on that? But I mean, there's things that have come into the law world. Hey, Rob, what do you think? Hence why he was, you know, asked to be a guest on Failure. You know, fire stuff will come in, whatever. But it takes you out of your normal realm to just sit here and banter and get some other perspective. And if it helps somebody else while we're being idiots, make somebody laugh, that's what I want. At the end of the day, hopefully somebody laughs at us being assholes and idiots. And you know what? If your bad day, if that made it better, I feel like we succeeded, and I'm good with that.
If you get your mind off of whatever you're going through for a short period of time.
Yeah,
that's why people go to movies and read books. I mean, I deal with traumatic events and shit that I see on a regular basis, like most people, with humor. That's just the way I am. And might come across as insensitive sometimes, most of the time, probably.
Most of the time.
But that's the way I deal with it mentally. And you know, I'd rather take somebody's mind off of something that they're dealing with regularly by being a jackass and not giving two shits.
And it all falls back into that mental health thing that Josh was talking about earlier. And I know, you know, Drew's very passionate about, and I'm very passionate about. So it's, if we could throw levity somewhere, and, you know, there may be some people that are like, oh, these guys are chauvinistic assholes, or they're complete right wing or conservative, whatever moniker you want to put on it. Just listen to a few of them because they're not all like that, and they're fun. So,
I like being
and we have fun
libertarian.
doing it. So, and that's the biggest thing is I still have fun doing it. So, I'm going to continue.
That's a big thing.
Josh, I will tell you this real quick before we get off here. If that mustache is not on your face, when you get down there next month, you will need a fucking wheelchair.
I have an international flight sometime. It'll either be before the trip or after the trip. But regardless of that flight, I was told I've been given the green light that this stays to at least then. So if I can get it, maybe a couple more weeks until April, and then it becomes, oh, well, why'd you get rid of it? We got used to it. Then I can bring it back and it become a staple thing.
There you go.
It better be there, man.
It'll be there. I'm trimming it a little bit, but I'm trying to just let it just go and just leave it as much as possible.
It means you're going to have to take a picture with Rob is what it means.
Hell yeah.
So that's what you're in for.
I have an idea though. What about we try to raise some money then? If we're going to shave, if I have to shave it off, what if we try to raise some money for a charity?
Ooh,
I'm just spitting, talking off my backside right now.
No, you're going to have to throw that on your platform as well, because you have a lot more listeners and followers than we do. But
well, I'll talk with Eric, and because this thought just came through my brain.
We'll coordinate it.
There's money for you to shave it off.
Well, we'll raise money, and then we'll do something with it. We can talk and try to figure it out offline a little bit, but we can do something with it to raise some money, because it's become kind of a staple thing.
Well, the wheels are turning.
I love that idea.
I like that.
A couple of things I want to present though.
I was going to say with our followers, we don't have that many, so it wouldn't be much. So we need to coordinate.
We've got people that don't subscribe, but listen. I think I'm going to do the commercial release in Clayton for Blue Chew. I'll have Eric pre-screen it, but I've written it. Might as well get it filmed.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Big Daddy. You know you love that. Also, I'm going to work on another surprise for Eric. But nonetheless,
you're the attorney. As long as we don't get sued, I don't care.
I'll let Eric float it up the chain, damn it. My shit's in an LLC. I'm doing this personally. Fuck it. I'm judgment proof, man. You can sue me. You're going to get an empty bottle of beer. That's about it.
We are at least somewhat smart.
Yes.
When we started this.
Looking forward to meeting you. And now that I know you're not in a wheelchair, I will probably still make wheelchair jokes and shit.
I have one. So as things are going to get worse,
he wanted one for today. And I was like, you realize he's not in a fucking wheelchair, dude.
I'm technically in a chair with wheels on it.
You are.
I'm in this chair 90% of the day. So if we want to be super technical, then yes, I am in a wheelchair.
See that? Yeah,
I said it's a good thing Josh has thick skin.
John. Yeah, John last night was he's like, I don't know, but trying to think of something he could really get digging underneath my skin. And I gave one to him. He's like, yeah, that's too far. I don't know that I could do that yet. I'm like, yeah, you don't deal with the career of law enforcement. You build thick skin from dealing with that. And then you just go, okay, now you're going to have immense pain for your life. You build a tolerance mentally, like my mental game. I just don't give a hell. And you're not going to get underneath me. You're not going to rile me up. Like there are things I can control in life and things I can't. If you're in the things I can't, I don't give you the time of day.
You're a man that has bigger fish to fry, no matter what anyone throws at you. So we appreciate that.
And the law enforcement aspect, I think, Josh, you might agree with this, is if they're not giving you shit, you need to be worried because they don't like you.
Yep. As soon as your squad mates stop talking shit to you, you need to find what you did or who you pissed off or who you ate or who you didn't back up on a call or something.
I'm very cognizant of that on everything in life. Josh, I hope you tune in on March 27th at 5 p.m. We got Merrill Hodge in the house, former Pittsburgh Steeler fullback and ESPN analyst.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Big into the concussion stuff.
The CRT stuff.
Yes, he is.
Do me a favor, Josh, and hang on as we get off the broadcast, if you don't mind, if you got time.
Yep.
But don't text
me.
I
will. Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll keep out of the group text.
And if Andrea, who probably never listens anyways, just keep big timing. That's fine.
Dingo, baby, I'm glad you came on the show today, man. It's been good talking to you.
This has been fun, guys.
Imperial Girl, everybody from Wolfpack, thank you guys for watching, subscribing. Everybody follow, like, watch, subscribe. Find us at onemoreandI'mOutofhere.com. Watch Failure Stop. If you are a listener, which a majority of ours, like theirs, are listeners to the podcast, You can find them at Failure to Stop. It's kind of easy to spell. FAILURETOSTOP.
Holy shit, you did it.
Yeah,
I
look
give
at that.
most people credit they can spell failure to stop.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud that he did it, though.
Yeah, just walk
He couldn't-
outside
he
and look at
couldn't
that
read
red sign if you have trouble
he couldn't
with
read
one.
an ad read a couple episodes ago.
That was
fact.
called impairment.
Impairment. I like it. But rate, review their show,
Yes.
subscribe to theirs, become a member of the Wolf Pack, rate, review our show,
There you
subscribe to our YouTube. We're trying to grow. That's all we're trying to do, man. And we're networking with some good people and getting to talk to these fine folks, Drew Breezy. We're gonna have Eric on hopefully before we go down, Andrea, John. But looking forward to our trip.
Definitely we'll be busy on that episode with Andrea.
it's Andrea's gonna probably put a restraining order on you while we're down there.
I'll bring one filled out with an affidavit. She just has to sign it and have it notarized down there.
Her camera will turn off.
Yeah. She has bad internet, even though that's her turning around.
Yeah. Looking forward to it, Josh. Keep the stash, baby. We'll brainstorm on it because I got another idea I want to run by you. So do text me. I want to call you on this. It's not for me. It's not for you. It's for somebody else. And I think you'll like it. And I think you'll have an avenue. So as always, thank you guys. Thank you, Josh. Thanks to everybody for watching, listening. And we will find out in that hotel room in Clayton. But I'm going to ask anyways. Dan?
I've got my own hotel room.
Do you
Thank
manscape?
you.